What's going on, y'all? How's everybody been doing? So I know it's been a little minute since I put out a video. Honestly, I really have nothing to talk about. So just a recap, as y'all know, Hurricane Milton has come and gone. I want to say I appreciate everybody that reached out to make sure that I was good. I'm good. I wasn't, be honest with y'all, I wasn't even home for this hurricane. Most of y'all know I run the system, so I just told Central, just keep me out. But let's talk about the beginning of the week. So most of y'all know I live in Tampa, but I run out of Orlando. So Monday was the day that everybody pretty much evacuated. The whole state of Florida pretty much evacuated. It took me 3 hours to get from Tampa to Orlando. No bullshit. Now, usually to get from my house to my job in Orlando, it would only take me about an hour and 5 minutes. So it took me 3 hours. 3 hours, y'all. So I got when I get to work, I got my paperwork or whatever. I was going up to Atlanta. I had already been, before I started driving, I'd already been looking at the traffic, and I already knew that 75 North was gonna be crazy because, again, everybody was evacuating, going to wherever they were going. So I'm knowing it's gonna be a long night. So I pretty much took US 301, US 441. I rode that up into Lake City and then jumped back on. Caught some more traffic when I got into Georgia. So typically when I go from Orlando to Atlanta, which I typically do pretty much every Monday, if I run it right and assuming I don't get held up in traffic, I can make it up there before I have to take a break. It took me 10 and a half hours to get up there because of all that traffic. So when I got to Atlanta, the Atlanta break bulk, they sent me to North Atlanta. And again, I had the choice of just fast turning, because Monday night, everybody fast turn, even those that have lay down runs, they all fast turn, because it was kind of up in the air if we were going to run on Tuesday. So, I went to North Atlanta. Luckily, my dad lives down the street from the North Atlanta terminal. So, he came, got me, slept at his house, spent some time with my brother and sister. And from that night, I went from North Atlanta to Fayetteville and then to Kinston. Now, most of y'all know I have children. And of course, I could have, stayed home with my kids. But, before I left, I made sure that they were good. Because, one thing about it is, hurricane or not, bills still have to get paid, So, and honestly, it seems like I live in Florida most of my life. I don't really be worried about these hurricanes, It's just something you get used to. Just like if you live in the Midwest, you get used to tornadoes, snow blizzards. So that's kind of how I look at hurricanes. I've never really been one to fear hurricanes. So, and I know that my kids, they're with their mom and they live on the 3rd floor. So I already knew they would be okay. So yeah, I went from Kinston. The following day, I went from Kinston to Greensboro to Charlotte to Atlanta, laid down in Atlanta, and then currently going from Atlanta down to West Palm. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, since this hurricane's passed, I thought I was going to catch hell coming back into Florida. But, surprisingly, traffic flowed pretty well for the most part. That's until I got into Ocala, and I already knew I was going to jump off and just run 441, 301, which runs parallel, and then, just catch the turnpike. So right now, just currently taking my break. Only got about 129 miles, so Right now it's 1:30, so I should get there about 3:45 or so, give or take. And I imagine I'll be laying down there unless they send me to Fort Lauderdale, which is a good possibility. Speaking of which, I need to call Central and see if they have me set up. But that's just a little mini update, everybody's good. My family's good. My mom, grandma, they live in the Tampa area as well, so they're good. And from what I understand, we're supposed to be getting another tropical storm or hurricane. So, I mean, it looks like we can't really catch a break with these hurricanes. But like I said, we built tough down here, so we're going to be just fine. All right, so that's just, the mini update. Everything's good with me. Still running system. Now, as far as the bid, we were supposed to have already rebid, but of course with what's going on, in Asheville and everything with that, they kind of postponed the bid. So my next video will probably be when we rebid, see what I end up on. But again, that's just the update. So as I always tell y'all, thank you to all my subscribers. Appreciate all y'all. And as I always tell y'all take it easy and y'all stay safe. All right, so let's fast forward to Saturday. So just got home. Boy, oh boy, I really got to see like the true aftermath of Tampa. But let's go ahead and recap. So I think the last time I left you guys, headed to West Palm, ended up going to Fort Lauderdale after that. And then I laid in Fort Lauderdale. Then from Fort Lauderdale, I went to Orlando to Tampa. Now, when I got to the Tampa terminal, on my way to Tampa, that road that we take, my fellow drivers, y'all know that County Road 579, man, Thonotosassa, that's really where it is. It's in Thonotosassa. Thonotosassa took a beating, and it looked like they had no power at all. And so when I got to the yard, Tampa yard, pitch black completely. And of course, I had to hook a set, so yeah, that was fun. So from Tampa, went down to Fort Myers, pretty smooth ride for the most part. And then from Fort Myers back to Orlando, where I ended shift. So since I was already knowing that the fuel situation in my area, Tampa, was going to be crazy, I just went ahead and topped off in Orlando since, really no fuel shortage in Orlando. But Tampa, yeah, we going through it out here with the fuel. When I got off the interstate, the Pilot, when I was on the way to the terminal, that Pilot that's right there, or the Flying J, I should say, backed up. There's a bunch of gas stations by my house. All of them are backed up. You got TPD out there. It's crazy out here, y'all. So when I got home, I looked over, my place, and when I went into my kids' room, there is some water damage to the roof, so I'm gonna go have to take care of that. But a few trees down, but overall, my place is good. No major damage except for in their room, but I'll see that gets handled. But yeah, that's the update on that. So hopefully Tampa, we can bounce back, and hopefully everything gets cleared up. But all right, y'all, I'll catch y'all on the next one.